وعشق ما له آخر وأمجاد مسطرة ترى في أمسها الحاضر دبي زالت الدنيا وعشق ما له آخر وأمجاد مسطرة ترى في أمسها الحاضر تحييكم وتهديكم ورود العمر والخاطر فأهلا يا ضيوف دبي وسهلا في ربوع دبي يا سلام يا سلام يا سلام يا سلام يا سلام يا دبي يا سلام يا دبي يا سلام يا سلام يا سلام يا سلام يا سلام يا دبي Somewhere you feel alive, forever on your mind. Wherever you close your eyes, Dubai is always in your heart. Dubai is always in your heart. No matter where you go in life, no matter where you go in time, doesn't matter where you are. Dubai is always in.
أعزائي المشاهدين، أهلا وسهلا بكم من جديد مع برنامجكم الأسبوعي برنامج قصتي. كما عودناكم في كل أسبوع نستضيف لكم خيرة من دولة الإمارات، قصة نجاح أتتنا إلى الدولة منذ عام 2008. Mr. Wasaf, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are so lucky to be here with you in your company. Our team said to you, welcome in our program, and we would like to know about yourself. Who's Mr. Wasaf, when he came to this country at the first time, and what he's doing at this moment.
وقالب وصف العالم دبي وكوكب آخر بهالقلوب تتفيا ومن هالليل يتضيع لأنها دالت الدنيا وعشق ما له آخر وفيها يلتقي العالم ليغزل حبه العذري.
Well, the first time I came to this country was back in 2008, and it was just before the global crisis. I had my first company then, and I came here then at that time for the Index show, and it was a trade show here in Dubai. And then it was a very successful show. It was a great opportunity, so I came back again 3 months later. Absolutely loved the place, really enjoyed the experience, had some great projects. And then shortly after that, I decided, you know what, I would like to come here and live here for a long period. I was in my early 20s. I was young. I had a lot of aspirations and ambitions, and I felt that this country was very inspirational. I could, and there were a lot of opportunities as well, and of course the weather was amazing. So I came back here, and I worked for another company for 7 years, and we were, and I travelled all around the Middle East as well. I got to see Saudi Arabia, Oman, Bahrain, all these countries as well. I did business over there, and then after 7 years, I got a little bit homesick and decided to go back to return to the UK, and I got married. But after 2 years, Dubai was calling back to me again. It was a country that once you've been here, I think it's very difficult to leave. And then I knew a lot about business out here. I knew a lot of companies that started up here, and they're doing very well. So I decided myself to come back here and start my own company. And I started very small, just me. I was actually just started on a dining table, really. And from there, and with the opportunities that were here, the business slowly has grown. And now, alhamdulillah, we've got, after 4 years in total, going from a dining table to a small office. Now we have a much larger showroom. We've got 5 employees as well. And we're becoming very well known in the market. And all thanks to, the great leaders here that have been able to give us the opportunities and have the vision for people like myself to come out here and to be able to develop something. Just to give you some background about me as well, I came out of university after I only did 1 year at university. I don't have a degree, and my opportunities in the UK weren't that great. So for a person who doesn't even have a degree to come out here and start up his own business just goes to show that there's plenty of opportunity for people. If you want to work hard, this is the place, this is the country for any hard workers to come out here and do really well.
2008 we came, then we could go back to our country, to UK again,
Yeah,
right?
2015, yes.
So, why you come again to UAE?
Well, it was a good question. I actually, it was, I think when I went back to the UK, I mean, of course I missed the weather. So we have very cold, rainy days in the UK. But more importantly, I was just, it's because the UAE is just has, it was far more inspirational for me being in the UAE. When I'm here, I feel like the world is your oyster. There's absolutely anything that you can do here. And you know, hard work, if you are willing to really work hard, you can really make it out here. And I felt the opportunities weren't there as much as they were back home in the UK. And then slowly but surely, a lot of my family members, I came out here, you know, back in 2008, completely alone. I didn't know anybody. I saw these huge skyscrapers. It was all very, very overwhelming for me. But then slowly, after I've now got 10 members of my family here as well. So my elder brother came out with his wife and kids. My twin brother came out with his wife and kids as well. So slowly, I'm building up a family foundation out here. And I say to them that I'm like Christopher Columbus. So I'm bringing over people out here, and they're also very, very happy, and they made a great decision coming out here. They never regretted it.
To choose to be in the market in UAE, so we have to plant that we are will contact with more than 200 different nationalities. We choose the Food Look company. Let's talk about the name first.
Yeah.
The idea of the name.
The Food Look. What we specialize in is in food presentation. Whenever the food looks good, and our slogan also is, the eyes eat first. So whenever you look at something, if it looks appetizing, then you'll want to go ahead and investigate and eat further. So this is where the look and the eyes eat first come together, along with it being a food presentation as well, which is what we specialize in.
So where we can find the product first that you have it?
So we've got our head office here. Sorry, where can you see it in
works?
Our work? Where do you see it? So if you go to every single Lulu hypermarket store, they've got almost 200 plus now. You'll see our products inside there. You'll see our products in all of the Carrefour stores here as well, in all of the Spinneys stores, in Waitrose, in every Giant. You'll also see it in Madinat Jumeirah as well. We sell a lot of children's tableware, so you'll see our products being enjoyed by the children there. Also, we are what else have we got? We also supply to Emirates Flight Catering as well. So and that's just in the UAE. Obviously, the rest of the Middle East as well. We supply to Panda. Tamimi markets as well, so the big retailer in Saudi Arabia as well. So it's not, we're a stone's throw away. You'll see our product somewhere.
So Mr. Wasaf, from where you get the idea, or from where you get it?
So I actually used to, the company that I represent here, Dalebrook, I usually work for them. So that time period I was in between the UK. When I returned back to the UK, I went and worked for this company as an export manager. I was the export only in sales, but what I realized, I was quite good at actually making the merchandising displays as well. I would help a lot of the customers in making those displays. One of my things that remits from them was for me to go out and set up exclusive distributors in the Middle East, in Singapore, in America, in all these different countries. And then I was trying to get distributors to set them up, and I believed in the concept so much that I said to the company, listen, how about I just be your exclusive distributor? And I put my money where my mouth is, and I started up the office here, and they supported me very well in giving me the exclusivity for the Middle East, and since then we flourished. We are now there. We were there, say about the 25th or 26th biggest customer for them when I started, and now I'm the fourth.
So the products we have it, I find many products. I was thinking it's a glass, but it's not a glass. What's the
No.
material of your products?
The material, vast majority of our products is actually melamine. So melamine is kind of a combination made from a paper pulp and a small amount of plastic, and it's compressed together with heat. And we've got lots of very interesting shapes and sizes and textures that can come out of it. But most importantly, it's a very food safe product. So why people like our products? Because there's a very good, unique design, very interesting in terms of the design product itself. And also it keeps hot food hot, it keeps cold food cold. And when it's out in display, it looks very nice. It looks like porcelain, ceramic. And as a professional equipment, this is for commercial use. It doesn't break very easily at all. It's virtually unbreakable.
Design, colors, art. So am I talking to artists now?
I like to say I'm creative. I have some creative elements. Whenever I do a design for my customers, I look at the overall store as well. We want to inspire customers. We want to capture their interest. So there's a lot of things when it comes into merchandising a food display. So we got to look at things like how do you elevations, the little colors, textures that are in there, which foods will look nice as well. So you don't want to put olives inside, say, a bright green bowl. Certain olives look very nice in dark colors like black and that sort of thing. So sizes, shapes, all these things have to fit together.
When I talk about the concept that we have, so I will talk about the plastic. And the people with the plastic fight. Now we have to talk. So let's go to eco-friendly.
Yeah.
The plastic now we will stop it.
Yes.
I think within 5 years we will stop using plastic at all.
Yes.
For the kitchens. So is it affected you for a good side when you do it?
I think so. I mean, myself personally, I think I am a strong believer that we should be moving away from plastics now. I think the oceans and generally the outside litter is getting really bad now. But interestingly, Dale brought the company here that I represent. As a UK-based company, they are already ahead of the game in many respects, because the UK are now saying they're going to completely ban any sort of disposable plastics. So we are already now introducing new products which are going to be more eco-friendly, and at the end of the day, we are very focused now on reusing rather than throwing away. That's our focus for the next future, basically 10 to 20 years.
20 years, you mentioned 20 years. 20 years, it will be Dubai 2040.
2040, yes.
His Highness mentioned that it will be the best place in the world.
I believe it. I think it already is.
My story, it's a book for His Highness. His Highness, in this book, he was talking about to reach number one, and it's hard to be number one, but the hard is to stay on the same level. We are here because you are one of the best or one of the top. So how you can be always at the top and never go any step back in your business, Mr. Wasaf?
How do you always remain on the top? So advice for those budding entrepreneurs out there. I would say, have a very clear vision about where you're going, and the leaders here always talk about vision, and they had very clear, precise visions, which a lot of people in the world thought it's almost impossible to do. The buildings they've built, the islands they've built, but once they had a strong vision in their head and they said we'll do whatever it takes to get that done. I would really am a strong proponent of that. And if you want to stay on the top, I would say you have to constantly innovate. You have to constantly look at what are other businesses doing and what can we do better. How can we add value to our customers? I always, I have a very long sales career as well, and I think it's very important to make sure you help your customers, make your customers' life easy as possible. If they say, Mr. Wasaf, I want to call him because he will make my life easy today, then you will always get the business.
When I talk about the company that they don't advertise himself in anywhere, but he reached to Gulf also, not only to UAE. So how the word of mouth work with you?
How the word of
Work.
word of mouth. Oh, it works fantastically for me. To be honest, at the moment I would say 80% of my business come from word of mouth. So a lot of people don't even know about me, but because I'm not proactive at all, and now we are slowly growing. But I would say 80% of my business is word of mouth. People come in, they see my work, and then they say, yes, I want that.
The team of the Food Look, it's more than 5 people or 6 people. So tell me how you can build the relation with your employees more stronger.
How can I build my relationship with my employees stronger? We should ask. I think it's important to take care of your employees. I think you have to appreciate they are human beings as well. I think being empathetic and sympathetic as well to their needs, and never putting them in a situation that you wouldn't put yourself into.
So we bring our family now, they are here in UAE, and we have a wife, and behind every businessman there is a woman, right?
Yes, there is.
What you would say for this woman opposite this guy?
I would say 100%. Definitely, I had a real explosion in my career when I got married. After I got married, literally after I got married, 5 months later, I was in Dubai and I was establishing this business. And I would say, as a single person, I don't know, never had the time or never had the focus. And my wife was able to bring that focus for me, to give me that energy, to say, yeah, go ahead, go and do it, go pursue your dreams. And it was really good to have that sort of support.
What we plan for the future, or planning for the future now?
Yeah, so the plan for the future is to continue to expand, to hopefully open more offices into other countries as well, for the Food Look to be established in Saudi Arabia, in Bahrain, Oman, and for anybody who's works in the commercial environment, in food environment, to think of the Food Look first whenever they have any tableware or food display needs.
Corona, it was good for your business or bad?
I mean, Corona obviously has a devastating impact for everybody. But we as a business decided to adapt towards it. So yes, it did have an impact for us, but we did have to cut costs and look after resources. But it was very important for me to ensure that my employees are still employed. I was a strong belief that yes, we are in a pandemic, but eventually we will come out of it, and I believe this country, we are definitely on the track to come out of it stronger. So we kind of drew everything back, but thankfully, our business carried on. We didn't have too much of a huge impact in the sense that I didn't have to let anybody go. It had a positive and a negative, and any business that survived the pandemic, I believe, will be successful in the future as well.
So this is one of the biggest challenge in your life?
Yes, I would definitely say it was a huge challenge, and completely unexpected. Nobody had a plan for this sort of thing at all. If you had a strong business, you could navigate through it. And I think those people with the weaker businesses then did suffer. It was just a catalyst really to what was going to be happening.
To be in the business and in the personal life, to be as a businessman at the same time a husband and a brother. Mm-hmm. So how you can manage your time?
I think discipline is important. So it's very easy to work too many long hours, but I think it's important to make sure you say, all right, these are the fixed hours I'm doing, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then to go home and switch off from work and just only focus on family, and to leave that time as well for your family on the weekends.
Mr. Wasaf, who support you in your life? Who built your character? Who was giving you an advice and work with you?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I have to thank my parents. My mother and father. They were very. They had a very large impact in how I became as a character as well. They taught me hard work. They taught me about not spending money for no reason. They taught me about charity and good values. So I had a good foundation, alhamdulillah, from them. And then my elder brothers are there with me to support me as well. So whenever we, both from a business point of view and for things that I wanted to aspire, and then of course my wife as well. So she was a huge role model in my life as well to help me.
This country, UAE. When I talk about UAE, so I will mention that we are living between more than 200 different nationalities, and we can walk in the street even if it was 2 or 3. We will never escape. We will never close our door because we know that it's a peace and safe country.
Yeah.
What we have to say for UAE leaders and government for this peace and safe country?
Yeah, I mean, it is a testament to their leadership on how wonderfully safe it is. Back in Europe, where we come from, my wife, when she was here, she did work at night. She worked at, she did night shifts and used to leave at 10 o'clock at night to work at the airport. And there was no way she could do that back where she came from. And she came raised back from Europe. But here she could do it comfortably without any issue. And when we have family that come over here as well, they visit and they see how safe it is, how people can stroll around at midnight, any time of the day, and not have any issues. So yeah, that feeling of safety here is a big reason why we're here as well.
Mr. Wasaf, thank you very much for spending your time with me and with our team, and welcome again our program. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.